right. Hello. Let's try this again. It's Mike Marrazzo with Brandon Silveira. Episode 27, and Brandon's wearing his pink Full House Woodworking breast awareness hat. What's up, buddy? We had technical difficulties. What did I say? Breast
awareness, not just breast awareness. I think people
Eyes
are
up here,
pretty
guy.
aware of boobs.
Eyes up here. I'm right here.
Right here. I'm right here. Okay. No, I didn't plan. I didn't plan well this year. Last year, what we did was I saw a bunch of people like doing pink patched hats or doing pink versions of their stickers. And my stepmom, Janet, is a breast cancer survivor.
Awesome.
Shout out, Janet. So I did a limited run of pink hats where we donated all the proceeds. Every dollar that we made off of it, we sent to one of the breast cancer awareness pre-screenings that really focuses on that. This year, I didn't plan well enough ahead, so we didn't get a chance to do that. But I thought for sure I'd rock.
And it's October. It is breast
show.
Cancer awareness, not breast awareness.
It is October.
We were watching.
I used to have a shirt that said "Don't let cancer steal second base."
Nice.
And it had two giant softballs right here. It was great.
We were watching at work. We were watching the news, and I don't know if you know, but Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, Beetlejuice. I'm not going to say it two more times because I don't want her in my house. But she made a mandate that everyone has to report their vaccination status by the 16th. And she was going to be laying off all the police officers or city workers that don't do it. So needless to say, there's going to be like thousands of police officers off work. And no, they went to work and they showed up, and I completely lost my train of thought and forgot what the story was. Oh, so they're interviewing. We're getting back to boobies. They're interviewing a female police officer.
You're talking about boobs. I'm like, God
boobs.
Damn it, I lost all.
So they're interviewing a female police officer who wants to keep her identity like hidden. So the camera, no, because she was in plain clothes, but they showed her from the neck down, and all you got to stare at was her boobs. Her boobs were talking. It was hilarious. And they're like, we're just imagining after the interview, she goes to the camera guy, "Hey guy, my eyes are up here, not down here anymore. These aren't talking."
Oh man, can you imagine how much shit?
Here, I saw your boobs on TV.
I guarantee you her
Tits McGee is off tonight. I'm Veronica Corningstone.
I'm Veronica Corningstone.
Tonight's news with Ron Jeremy. That's a show. Ron Burgundy and Tits McGee.
Ron Jeremy
Tits McGee
and
is off
Tits
tonight.
McGee. Live, local, hard-hitting, late breaking.
So, speaking of work and police, how was your week?
God. Well, I am on the current season.
Oh, you've caught up. I just watched tonight. Did you watch tonight's episode?
I've caught up.
Oh, not yet.
Well, I am just starting.
Okay.
I'm on season 11, episode 1. So I should probably be caught up by the end of the week.
I love that job you have.
Take a nap.
That's hilarious.
But no, I did get some news today. It turns out I will be an FTO.
You're going to go to the training
here in the very near future. I'm going to be an FTO school and have me become an FTO and enroll in. Hold on, I'm looking through the pause button. There's some sort of congratulatory button that, if he's pushing, is not coming through my headset, which means it's probably not making it into the audio portion of the show. And now you can see visible frustration in Mike's face.
So my friend at work, I told him that you're going to be going to FTO training, and he had a good joke. He's like, "Are they going to be learning the Sokoloff method?" So for people, the Sokoloff method,
what?
That's the other FTO training method. So there's two main methods of FTO training. And for people that don't know this, the one that I went to, like almost 20 years ago, is called the San Jose model.
It is. It is the
then there's the Sokoloff model, which is the one that the other department used.
Is that you keep a journal bullshit?
So the joke was they'd be sending you to the Sokoloff method because you're the San Jose police.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll have to blank that out. But
yeah.
because of your department. It's named after your
It's
department.
okay. If you've listened to episode 7, you know
but we
where I
don't
work.
mention it.
But
Right.
I do try to not flaunt it too much.
So
No.
So
yeah,
when do you
it's gonna be
start?
fun.
Just-
So we
Okay.
don't have a date for the school yet. They basically just came through and said, "Hey, you've been selected for the FTO program. Here are the FTO teams that are available. You guys will bid in seniority order. I am bidding at number 8 out of 11.
11 people put in for it?
And
How many
well,
are they
yeah,
sending?
basically, I would say
Oh,
11
okay, I'm
people
sorry.
got
Yeah.
selected, but so it's all. So here's the thing: we do everything in house. That's one of the benefits of having a big department. Is our training unit is, I won't
Huge.
say huge, but
It's huge.
we're able to. It's huge, maybe the greatest ever in the history of training departments, possibly the greatest ever in the world. Trust me, I know. So we're able to do a
That's
lot of
awesome.
things in house. So it's going to be an 11-person just class that we'll go through. It's all going to be done in house, and then we'll come out of that. Hopefully, by the time that class starts and ends, I will be healed, and I can just
And
roll
you're gonna-
right out into the street
And on day
with a brand new
shift,
recruit,
right?
and we'll learn together. I could end up on day shift. I could end up on swing shift.
Oh, they don't know yet.
I might even stay on midnight.
It's wherever you're needed.
So it really just depends. Yeah. So they need midnight FTOs, but there's only 3 midnight FTO slots available.
Okay.
So not really sure how that's going to work. There's like 4 swing shift ones and then like 3 day shift ones. So either way, I'll have weekends off. So my schedule might change a little bit as far as days off go. And then
You'll just have
we'll-
Saturdays and
we'll see
Sundays,
what,
or Saturday, Sunday,
what
Monday?
happens. So I'll
Oh,
either
Friday,
have
Saturday, Sunday. Oh,
the same days off I have now, or I'll have Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Possibly even Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but I really don't want to go to that team. I know a few people on that team, and we don't
Oh,
work
they're
well
not
together.
listeners, I suppose. All right.
No, they're not. And even if they are,
Okay.
they know we don't work well together.
It's okay. No one,
It would shock
not many people listen
nobody.
at my work, but it's funny. My friend Patrick, who I got to see twice this week or 3 times this week because I was at work for 5 days, he goes, "Hey, I gave your podcast to listen a couple times." I'm like, "Oh man, thanks." And he's like, "I got to tell you, no."
Not a fan.
Yeah, I was like, "I'm actually surprised at
Kinda
the quality."
sucks.
And I'm like, "Thanks." And he goes, "No, like the audio sounds good and you
Cool.
guys sound good." I'm like, "Ah, cool. All that training I had like 30 years ago, it's paying off." Yeah. Thank you. Right?
Thank
Maybe.
you.
So hopefully
I was expecting it to be dog shit, but it's actually
it's
not
not
terrible.
not bad.
I love those. Those are my favorite kind of compliments. Like, I was getting ready to bag on you, but I have to kind of hand it to you. It's not
Yeah.
as bad as I thought it would be.
Thanks for the backhanded comment. So you got through The Walking Dead. What did I say?
Compliment.
Compliment.
Yes, I'm up to. You said comment.
Yeah, and I'm
It's all right.
drinking.
You're tired.
Yeah, just a
Probably a
little.
little drunk. It's fine. It's not the end of the world, Mike. I've been drinking all day, and surprisingly,
Because it's a
enough, I
kid's
can keep
birthday
this on
party by
rails.
your house. You didn't go to like Chuck
Yeah.
E. Cheese or anything. You brought Chuck E. Cheese. In Russia,
No,
Chuck
we
E.
did it at
Cheese
home.
come to
We
you.
did it at home. in Soviet Russia, birthday party have you. I do one of these days. I saw this happen when I was a kid, and now ever since then, I want to do this. I want to rent a slushy machine and then turn
Oh,
it into
yeah.
a margarita machine.
I had a buddy who
I
actually
just think that'd
had
be great for me.
the twin slushy machine and a margarita machine out by his pool. Yeah, he had some money till the wife
that would
got
be
it
awesome. Yeah, see, that'll happen.
all. Yeah, it was pretty sweet. But that's a good idea.
Until the wife
Yeah.
came
Or
and
she
took it all.
stayed and took it all.
Oh,
she
she
stayed and took
he
it all.
left. he
Yeah.
got the.
So you got through The Walking Dead, got all caught up to season 11, and you made FTO school.
Yep.
You were announced.
And I'm
Anything
going to
major
FTO
happen in your
so.
department?
Not at my department. Yesterday, though, a neighboring agency. What I was actually
In the city
when
where it
this
happened or in your city? Oh, and then
yes,
okay,
in the city of
right.
Well, I don't work there, so who cares? Milpitas,
Little Penis,
California. Milpitas, California. Hello. Yeah, Little Penis. That's
I'm sure.
actually what I kind of call it sometimes. Anyways, Yeah, really
Okay.
big mall. It's
Well,
called Great
isn't
Mall.
the Great Mall in Minnesota?
I know. It's crazy.
Oh, that's Mall of America.
Well, that's
Okay.
the Mall of America, and that thing is
Yeah, I've
friggin'
been there. They even have a roller
enormous.
coaster inside there. Wow.
I've been there. They have
That's
like a
before,
Nickelodeon land in there.
Minneapolis got bad to go to.
Um,
Yeah. Continue.
Yeah. So,
Anywho.
Yeah. Anywho. Apparently, about a mile and a half, 2 miles away from where we were at the Legoland Discovery Center, Milpitas PD had an
Wow.
officer-involved shooting where some jackass in a stolen car decided to shoot at the police officer. The police officer returned fire in kind, striking the suspect, incapacitating him to the point where he did not respond to our canines biting him.
Yay. Where'd they shoot him? Say it.
So,
Oh, I thought you were going to say, in the face. Yeah.
in the face.
Oh, we'll pretend.
Well, I don't know if he got shot in the face or not. I don't. But my buddy was tasked with, because Milpitas PD is very small, our department being large and having resources available, decided to help them out. My buddy sent me a text. He goes, "Well, looks like I'm Milpitas PD today."
So he's working the streets while they're doing...
So he was tasked with helping Milpitas
Okay.
cover calls for service while they were responding to a critical incident. But from what I understand, the officer was
God.
completely fine, at least physically.
Okay.
It's a hell of a thing to have to go through a shooting and then live with
Yeah.
the fact that you took a life, even if that life was trying to
Yeah.
end yours.
I don't know.
So, very happy that he's okay. Very happy that the suspect is in custody.
Or dead.
Hey, I never saw a press release
okay.
saying he was dead. I just know that my buddy said, well, apparently he wasn't
dog's
responding
biting.
because that's the number one question everyone asks. It's like, hey,
What's
is
the dog
asshole
say?
dead? Especially if he shoots at dog said, "Arr, arr, 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 arr." But that's what he goes, well, according to the event here, he was not responding to the dog bite.
Good.
They're starting CPR. I'm like, oh, so they're putting
Yeah.
lipstick on a pig.
After they
Perfect.
cuffed him. Then they're doing CPR.
Yeah. That actually happened one time on live TV.
On the show
area.
Live PD?
There was a...
Okay.
No.
Oh.
Like on the news. Like they were following... So here's what happened. There was a string of FedEx truck and UPS truck robberies. And this guy actually ended up carjacking a UPS truck. Took some shots at the sheriff's deputies that were trying to stop the truck. And then I refuse to call it a high-speed pursuit.
There was like 25.
Because
yeah,
it's
but
a
you
UPS
could get up to
truck.
like 50.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think we
okay.
actually got up to like 60, 65. Anyways, like basically the whole city and county showed up, and we assisted with providing an outer perimeter because it was a sheriff's department case. It just so happened to stop in the middle of our city. And guy has a shotgun, going back and forth with negotiators first. It's happened on Valentine's Day, by the way. Like he did this with his girlfriend.
His girlfriend was
It
in the
really
car?
romantic. Yeah, well, she ended up running
She's
out. Like she was
fuck Valentine's Day.
co-conspirator.
I'm out.
Yeah, yeah. She was like, bro, we're gonna do like state prison
Bye.
time. Like we need to go. I'm coming out. So he ended up having a shotgun. He, as like the news helicopter is capturing this just perfectly. My wife and I are sitting on the couch watching it because I mean, come on, it's better than live PD. It's actually happening right now. So he ends up going, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to make a run for it. Goes to run, ends up running towards a crowd, shotgun still in hand, and I just see him crumple to the ground. I go, he got shot.
Oh, did he shoot himself?
So, no. So one of the perimeter units had a long gun, saw he was running towards a crowd and actually a reporter, and goes, well, one shot. Drops him. Shot's effective. And then as the reporter is like on the news, holding the microphone over her shoulder, you can see the SWAT team like cuffing him up, turning him over, and then starting chest compressions. I'm like, oh, they need to cut from this. He's dying on live. You need to know your
if
producer
it bleeds,
needs to, like, go to
it
something
leads.
else.
Yeah.
It leads. And I'm telling you, that thing, from the time and that they could get the helicopter overhead to the time, like I'm talking probably like until primetime TV started with new episodes of stuff, it was just that.
Yikes.
That's all they covered. I'm like, good Lord. Like, I understand it. It's going to get ratings. It's very newsworthy. But yeah, I mean, it was I remember like watching it. It was a very tense situation because he had a hostage. He took the UPS driver hostage, had his girlfriend in the car. He was on like parole or something like that. Like he was done. And then he decided that he was going to try to run. He didn't run.
He's not a Gale Sayers.
He posed an
imminent threat. Yeah, he did.
Imminent danger. Imminent threat to the lives of
I was hoping you were saying that he was running with a shotgun. He tripped, fell, and blew his fucking head off. Right on live TV.
Oh, that would have.
That's what I wanted to see.
That would have been amazing to see. One of these days, that's had to have happened at least once, right? Like to where it's been captured on live TV.
Have you ever seen a brain get blown out?
Yeah, more than once.
Yeah.
Primarily.
No, I mean by gun.
Accidents.
The whole brain.
I've seen that too, but like my primary. Well, I mean, there were parts of it here, parts of it there. Like it wasn't intact.
Because we had this girl, this woman. She was 42, living at home with her Italian parents, and they're right off.
Well, there's your reason.
Could be one of the contributing factors. So she was depressed, obviously, and her parents, they had a kitchen like all the Italian families around here have their kitchen upstairs, and then they have a kitchen in the basement, full kitchen in the basement. So the parents were downstairs in the kitchen in the basement and having their morning coffee and pastries, and she took her dad's .357 Magnum, and she fired 2 shots. The first shot, she must have accidentally shot her because bullet went through her hand and through the bed headboard and through the room.
Yeah, nerves.
And the next one didn't miss, and the bullet went up into the ceiling, but her big whole brain came out, and it hit a wall, and it hit another wall,
that's crazy.
And it hit the ceiling, and then it came down on the ground and split into pieces. And then, of course, there was pieces of it all over everywhere else, but.
Would you say that she
lost her mind?
Lost her mind?
I would say that.
No, so the first brain I
car
ever
accidents
saw
a lot.
was,
Yeah.
yeah. So it was ped versus train.
Pedestrian for people that don't know what ped is.
Yeah, so pedestrian versus train. But here's the weird thing: he didn't get hit like full on.
Go on a
So you know how
track.
trains have the So you know the trains that go on a track, they go choo choo. No, so they have this more or less like a plow at the front end to push like snow and debris and stuff away. So the way that he was on a jogging path, and you're not supposed to like cross the tracks, but everybody does that jogs.
Does the path go across the tracks?
But the angle that it's been made to go across the tracks, like just the traffic of people going over there has kind of forged that path. But the angle at which that the path crosses the tracks is if you're running it,
you can't see the tracks.
Sunglasses on like he did. You don't have peripheral vision, and you won't see a train coming. So he had headphones in, he had glasses on, didn't see it, and just the front corner of
hit his head.
Plow caught his skull, and it dug out a small, probably like quarter-sized chunk of his skull, and then the centrifugal force forced out his brain matter through that hole. And this was like my 3rd day. So guess what I got to do?
Yeah.
Find all his
just
brain.
Point to it.
But it was...
Yeah.
No, just go mark it.
Yeah, mark it.
Put like a little 3x5 card next to it, photographic. Yeah. And then... so this is... my original FTO, day 1, hurt his back. Unloading the car.
Hey, he could have been older.
So they put... he wasn't. He was like 40. But I guess he's had some serious.
Don't make fun of us people with back problems.
Most of his career. No, hey, I'm gonna be one of you. So they stick me with basically a fill-in FTO until they can figure out, hey, is this guy going to come back, or do we need to find a new permanent FTO for you? So they thought it would be really funny because there's one other person in the department with the same last name as me.
Yeah.
No relation at all. So I rode with... So our car was just referred to for the whole week as
that's a
Silveira
TV show.
Silveira. Yeah. So, but I'm sitting there, and we get Starbucks each morning, and I would get like one of those little peanut butter and jelly things for later in the day. So after I'm done photographing all his brains, I just go sit in the car for a second, and I just start eating my PB&J, and he just looks over at me and he goes,
Yeah.
"You're going to be okay, kid.
Right.
You're going to be all right." But yeah, I've also seen it where a guy, like, this one was messed up. He goes to commit suicide
with his toes
by shotgun. He's on his knees. I don't know how he reached it, but he's on his knees. His girlfriend
surprises
comes
him
into the room. He looks at her, looks straight ahead, blows his brains out right in front of her.
Can I get that piece of brain matter from your bra? I'm not groping you. I just need to get that out of your bra. It's evidence.
That's the
right
coroner's
there.
Gonna want
that spot there.
You're not gonna want.
You should probably just take it off. Right now.
No, she should.
No, definitely not.
Not my cup. My cup of tea.
Danny's first day. Right.
Obviously, for anybody listening, Mike is joking. We would never
a girl
suggest that
takes a shirt off
to anybody.
Right.
To anyone. It's a joke.
Sometimes
this is
we
satire
just
sometimes.
Right.
We make
it's
jokes.
a coping
it's how
mechanism.
We cope.
Danny's first.
We just described some pretty messed up scenes that we've seen.
Right.
This is how we deal with it. I also saw a 16-year-old's brains coming out of his ears after a car accident. I had to ask the
brain.
What's that foamy shit in the blood?
Yeah.
He goes, that's his brain.
Can you put it back in?
That's bad. Can we fix this?
Sorry. So Danny's first day.
His cut.
I thought you were gonna say it was fucking hot.
Though. They asked like,
okay.
Well, no, they were drunk and high, and one of the like super salty senior sergeants, like was doing the interview with him, and they were talking about how they were smoking weed and everything. Because I was curious about that case.
But weed's not dangerous.
Like,
Continue
with it, and no. So they're saying that in the report, it's like, yeah, they said that they had been smoking marijuana and got hungry, and in parentheses he wrote, "Shocking." But yeah, in the interview, these little assholes like, how long is this gonna take?
I just killed somebody.
Graduate tonight. I'm like, bro, you're going down for
get any brownies?
Homicide. Like your life's over. Hey, can we get
Did you say over?
Bell?
Nothing is over.
Can we just well, in California, not.
So I'm gonna say this for the fourth time.
So what about Danny's first day?
On Danny's first day,
okay,
he's still in.
Wait, hold on, Mike. I got some other.
He's still in civvies, and he's just riding with an FTO. He's not even training yet. And here's what I love to do. I love to go on industrial accidents, where the big sheet metal bending machine comes down and crushes some guy's hand. I like that kind of stuff. So I'm sick. I don't know.
It's like kind of shit.
So I'm always the first car on the scene. Holy shit! Let me see this. So this
look at that.
This poor kid. We have a number of marble countertop stores in our town, but the main one that we all know, there was a call there for some kid that got, I'm going to say, injured at first. So, you know how they move those concrete slabs, right? They're granite slabs and stuff. They were loading a container with the concrete slabs, and this kid who was 19 years old, went in the container, and he was his first day on the job too. And he was inside the container when the slab broke free from the straps, and it fucking squished him. Like, just crushed him between another concrete or granite slab. So that was Danny's first day. He had to go see that. Like, welcome to the big leagues.
So do Do you think with that those slaps got?
I'm sure his
discounted?
parents owned a few after that.
I
I don't know. They did my granite and my last house for free.
If you get
I don't know why, but
I was gonna say if like the slap
yeah, you
kills
can't get that blood
somebody,
out of that if it's not sealed properly.
Do you? I would think that you. Yeah, like I feel like like that's got to get discounted, right? Like you're not going to
after it's released after the court. Well, after the investigation, and you get it back because that's evidence, so you got to take it.
Well, is the coroner? So how do you seize that?
They just have to put it in the corner. You put police tape on it. Don't move.
You just put a little. Yeah. We do, for as big of a department as we are, we don't even have our like crime scene tape is not something that says like
caution,
crime scene
police,
or like
do not enter.
Police do not cross. No, it's like
what?
orange fucking construction
Who buys it?
tape. It's great.
No one's even paying attention to that.
But it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I think because it's cheap. So you can get a ton of it. So, like, I'm telling you, dude, these like major, like homicides,
everywhere,
dude. There is orange tape fucking everywhere. Like, we'll draw X's, like, just to make sure that everyone understands. Keep the fuck away from here. But that always tripped me out. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, here's the crime scene tape." Like, this is orange construction tape. This is. Shouldn't it say police?
The crime here is that we don't have proper equipment. That's the crime scene. I had Danny's because he was training. I was his FTO, and we went on his first suicide. It was at one of our hotels, and the guy shot him. He laid in his bed and shot himself in the chest with a small caliber pistol, and there was like no blood. So we show up,
all inside.
And my sergeant, who's now retired, a big Korean guy, he's like, "Mike, go get your camera gear," because now I'm the only FTO, or I'm the FTO, and I'm the only ET that's working the street, so I got to process the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Evidence technician.
So I go, okay. I tell the rookie, Danny, you stay here guard the body with the sergeant. So I leave. And then Steve, the sergeant, goes, "Hey, rookie, we need to get a core temperature before we call the ME's office." And Dan's like, "Okay."
Oh, God.
And he goes, Dan's like, how do I do that? And he goes, you have gloves with you, right? The latex gloves. And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
"All right. Well, you need to put your gloves on, and then you need to get a temperature by putting your finger in his rectum." Danny's like,
yep. Well,
Danny's just staring at him.
Accurate.
That's what Steve told me. He's just looking at him like, "What?" And then,
okay.
Danny said, "Mike said not to touch the body until he gets back." Yeah, exactly. He's like, "So now you're being insubordinate too?" He's like, no, sir. He puts his gloves on, and then he goes over by the body, and Steve goes, "Don't fucking touch that body. What are you, an idiot?" Like, I love it.
Fucking moron.
Love hazing the new guys.
I don't know what to do.
Get the dead guy's body temperature by sticking your finger up his ass. Okay. My sergeant's telling me to.
All right. Doesn't sound right, but okay.
I'm going to miss that part of the job.
And it's okay. And as you
get to do that.
Career, you learn to tell a sergeant, "That's stupid."
Not that sergeant, you didn't. He once told me.
No. There have been sergeants where I've looked at him and gone,
"Oh, yeah,
no.
Everyone's got those."
No.
But he once told me I can't lie to someone to make him do something because I'm the police. I go, "No, that's why I can lie. What's with you?" What the fuck?
It's not a lie.
It's a story.
It's called a ruse.
I'm good at telling stories.
I utilized a ruse.
All right, so what else happened at work? That's it. The Walking Dead.
I'm going to.
That'll be cool. How to learn to make CIs.
Yeah, that's
gather and gain CIs and work them.
So, yeah, and that's being put on by one of the units I'd like to get into. So I'm going to go there and kiss the ring. And bring my knee pads, and maybe they remember that next time they're putting out for knee.
I'm going to plug my computer in. Hold on.
Oh, we've made it this far without Mike plugging in his computer. Here at the Handcuffs and Sawdust podcast, we are nothing but professional. We come prepared. All of our equipment is always ready to go. And we do everything in one take and never, ever have to restart or pause.
Why do you think it takes me hours to edit this shit?
I think you should just let one go. Like, let these people.
Well,
see
it's
what
unedited on
kind of-
YouTube.
Yeah. See, I think that's great. So if you for you people that are just listening to the audio, if you want
And
to
see.
hear, like, even if you just let it play in
Yeah.
the background and just listen, if you want to just hear the shit that goes
I would
on,
like. Yeah,
between
I would like to
these
just ask
two
you to please
idiots.
put it on YouTube and let it play in the background because we get credit for the hours watched. So just play it in the background. Don't even pay attention. If you,
Put it on.
yeah,
If you want to watch when you have a chance. But like, just it's hilarious. Which, by the way, I was watching
yeah,
the Seinfeld episode, and your volume on YouTube was
Really?
like, I couldn't hear you at all. Yeah, and I
Huh.
was coming through super loud.
did you do what you told Joey to do?
So
Joey Steelblades?
I did. I turned it up. I did. I turned it up when you're.
And then
when
you-
I saw your
okay.
mouth moving. And then I had to try to anticipate when I was going to start talking, so I could turn it down. So I,
I
didn't
don't
blow
know
the
what's
speakers
going
out of
on
the
with
TV
that,
and wake
but
up my wife.
because that computer that I returned,
It's technology, man.
it
It's just technology.
I had to edit those last two on iMovie, and it only gives you so much audio stuff that you can do. It's very limiting. So. So when
Shit
I was
happens.
an FTO in my last police department, that's how I watched The Walking Dead. Was I would stay up. I don't know if I told you that. I would stay up at night to try and force myself to be awake at midnights, and I just watched The Walking Dead like 6 or 7 episodes in a row, and then I would go to sleep and have fucking nightmares about zombies, and I'd go to work the next day tired, and I'd be like, "What's with you?" I'm like, "Ugh, I watched like 7 episodes of Walking Dead,
Fucking
and then I had zombies in my dreams, and they're like, stop watching The Walking Dead. And I'm like, I gotta stay awake somehow. So that's
So I remember when Annie and I would watch it. Like we got into it pretty good, like around the time that like season 3 came out. So we got caught up. We were watching it, and our son, as a little kid, was getting so used to it that like every time the Walking Dead theme song would come on, he'd get all excited, like yes. And now I can't imagine him watching any of those episodes. 'Cause I
yeah.
think it
He's
would freak
now,
him out.
yeah, because he was little then. He's 9 now, right?
Yeah.
9.
He used it, yes.
My buddy Danny sent me videos today of his 9-year-old
So he
today
would-
at the range shooting for the first time. His AR-15,
Nice.
couple of his 1911s, his new SIG, the one that we're going to be using on duty, and he said his son shot like 66% accuracy, first time shooting. He did, and he sent the videos
That's
he
not
sent
bad.
where the kid had the stance, everything. It was really cool to watch. Has your kid done anything like that yet?
That's awesome. So he's shot, when we went to Colorado, him and my oldest daughter got
Cool.
to shoot 22. So, and once they kind of figured out
Mm-hmm.
because my dad has a scope on his,
Yeah.
because, why not? Once they kind of figured out, because the scope wasn't perfectly zeroed, so once they kind of figured out, like, oh, okay, I want it to hit
Yeah.
here, so I need to aim it here. They both,
Nice.
they had tight groupings.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to start introducing them into handgun, and then him, when he's older, probably another year or so, I'll let him try like a 223.
My daughter, I think the first time I took her shooting, I don't have anything smaller than a 9. Oh, I'm sorry. I do have a 32 Tomcat Beretta that I wear on my ankle for my backup gun, but we don't shoot that out in the public.
Mhm.
So the first gun she shot was my Kimber 1911 custom, and with the weapon light on it and the trigger light switch and all that stuff, and she just killed it.
Yeah.
It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. She just blasting away, nice tight grouping, had the flashlight working. She had the whole thing going, man. It was pretty cool. Nothing more impressive than seeing your kid shoot. It's pretty fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, and especially when you're in a
Yes.
profession that, utilizes firearms, and you're
Yes.
taught tactics and all that stuff. So, it like for me, it was fun to teach my kids
Clearing rooms.
in
Yeah.
our base house in North Dakota how to clear rooms the military
Okay.
way, which is very dynamic. I don't
Regular
do
stuff?
well with
Yeah.
this. The way we do it is very slow, methodic. I understand it, and it's very necessary. But I remember a buddy of mine, we're both prior military, and we were assigned as rookies to a very senior team. And we both made the decision, like, hey, if we have to clear this structure, we're doing it dynamic. We're not going to wait for those guys because they're asleep. We're just going to go dynamic, shock and awe, and just own the building, be done with it in about 5-10 minutes.
Luckily.
And then now it's like very
Right.
2 in each room. Okay.
Just 2?
But that's how I taught my kids how to do it very dynamic. Well,
Okay.
minimum 2.
Yeah.
Some of these houses, especially in some of these lower
you can't
income
get more.
neighborhoods, you
Right.
can't fit
Yeah.
more than 2 people. So there's been a lot of times I've gone into a room and just
Yeah.
gone, short room, I got it. Because I just go, yep, it's clear. So, but yeah, my kids, that was so much fun teaching them how to dynamically enter a room, do the whole violence of action, flip a
That's
table.
awesome.
I
Yeah,
set up a
no,
card
a
table,
light
really,
one.
an actual like coffee table. Like just have them flip it over and like pop, pop, pop with their
That's
Nerf
awesome.
guns.
Did you film any of that?
My daughter actually really I'm
Okay.
sure I did on one of my older phones, but I think the baby is getting old enough to where we could start working some of that stuff, and then we could actually have a full-blown fighter
That would be
team
cool.
with the 4 of us.
Film that because I want to see that.
So, oh yeah, we'll set up a camera once we go over some things and talk about how we would clear
Yeah.
this house.
I know that I keep a 12 gauge under my bed that's loaded, and you don't have to even rack around. It's ready to go. Just red is dead. Push the button. Safety off, and
Yep.
the kids know it's there. And I've told them both over the years. I've always had it, and this is what happens if someone comes in the house. This is where you go. This is what you get, and this is what you do. And my son's like, I don't want any part of that. My daughter's like, I got it, Dad. I'm like, that's right, honey.
That's kind of how my kids are. My son's like, he's very much gentle and caring and empathetic and all the things that
Yeah.
you want a human being to be. And my oldest daughter is like, I will cut a mother trucker. I'll never forget one night before I went to work, she goes, Dad, she's like, don't get shot, okay? I'm like, oh no. She's like, yeah, okay. She goes, and if somebody tries to shoot you, shoot
In the
'em
face.
first." I was like, yes.
God bless you, little girl.
We went from like, oh man,
Yeah.
this is going to be like this really like caring, oh shucks
Shoot 'em
moment,
first.
and she's
That's
like,
good.
shoot him,
Hey.
not just shoot him, kill him, kill him. Out of my 3 kids, I think my oldest daughter Hannah is the most
Protect
likely
yourself. Yeah, okay.
to follow my footsteps
Alright.
into the military, or become a cop, or run
My
the
daughter was
world.
going to become a police officer when she was in her early teens, and now, thank God, she doesn't want to do it anymore. I would have been so proud. Of course,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
proud
that's-
of whatever they do, but our profession is struggling
Yeah.
so much that
There is
I'm
something-
glad she's picked a
Yeah.
different path.
And that's the weird thing is, it used to be like every cop wanted their kid to grow up to be a cop, like to have that legacy that, hey, we share this very
Yeah,
special
I know my dad's
bond.
proud of me.
And now I wouldn't
My-
wish it on anybody. I've not necessarily, I don't want to say I've talked people out of becoming cops, but I had conversations where, if you had asked me a year ago, I'd been like, yo, yeah, you absolutely should do it, to
Yeah,
this is the reality.
my dad was in law enforcement.
So, and they decided to
Oh,
not
okay.
do it.
My dad was a chief. He made it up to a chief and worked for a couple different departments. And he's 74. He still wants to be on the street. I wanted to
That's
actually
awesome.
work with him at some. We worked together when he retired from being on the street. Then he was a dispatcher in my department for 15 years. So I know he's very proud and very happy that one of his sons is actually a police officer. So he keeps sending me shit like, hey, this town's hiring a chief. I'm like, Dad, man, in 6 months, I'm not I'm not doing it anymore.
Done.
Last
I'm
year,
out.
yeah, I wanted to be a chief and run a small town. And now, nope. Forget it. So speaking of my work, you're done with your work, right?
I'm done with my work.
So, first of all, I want to say that this episode is brought to you by Marrazzo Woodworking on Instagram, YouTube, and
What's Marrazzo Woodworking? Aren't you the Midnight Maker?
I used to be Mike Marrazzo, Midnight Maker, and the Midnight Handyman before that, but now it's Marrazzo Woodworking.
Bet you $1 I screw that
You
up.
might, because you didn't read the damn rundown I sent you. Yeah.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
So, anyways, if you're in the market for a flag or a cutting board, charcuterie board, paddle that you can smack your wife on the ass with, look me up on Instagram.
Consenting,
Right.
Consenting adults.
And if you use
Don't
the
just do that
code
shit.
Marrazzo58, you'll get 20%
Ooh.
off.
Mike, what's the significance?
That's
of
my badge
58?
number. Not 58% off though.
No, it's
Right.
just to be clear. 58 is part of the promo
Right.
code.
You can go to my Etsy page
20%.
at Marrazzo Woodworking, find a flag you like or a bottle opener or anything like that, and put it in your cart. Send me a message, DM me a message with the code Marrazzo58, and then you'll get 20% off. Back to the show.
Or the show is also brought to you by Full House Woodworking.
Yes.
Now on Etsy. Go to the Full House Etsy page. Favorite something. And
Nice.
you'll get a little surprise. Buy something, and you'll get a second surprise.
Do you have No,
Want to know what that
because it wouldn't be a
surprise is?
surprise. That's right.
Gotta go find out. Go favorite something. You'll like it, I promise.
We just wrote those reads.
You could actually be the first sale. Back to the show.
That was some
Mike,
good copy.
continue with
All
your
right.
week.
So my week was 3 to 11, Monday through Friday. So my buddy Mike, who's also injured, he got injured in January. He got injured on camera in the station when a fight broke out in our lobby with a couple of our police officers and some shitbags. He leaves the squad room, runs down the hall that's from 1953, slips on a rug, falls down. His head hits the steel door that goes out to the lobby. He falls on the ground, shatters his left hand into, 100 pieces, smashes his left knee, his left elbow, and he gets knocked out. The funny thing is, then you see one of the other officers coming in from way in the back, just runs over Mike, jumps over Mike, goes out to the lobby. So anyways, Mike's been out since January. And they had an independent medical review or whatever. So when I start on Monday at 3 to 11, he goes, he's another midnight guy. He's on the other midnight shift. We don't get to see each other anymore because we work opposite. So back in the day when I was number 1 on the sergeant's list, he was number 2. So nowadays he still calls me number 1 and I still call him number 2. And then, we just
Mike
say
1,
number
Mike
1,
2.
number 2. Not for Mike's, but for sergeant list stuff, Number 2.
Number
So then he goes, there isn't a list low enough for my number anymore. That's what he tells me because that's how they're treating him. So he goes, how did you get on the 3 to 11 shift? I said, Deputy Chief said, you're going to start Monday on 3 to 11s.
DC
And I'm
had a thought.
Okay. And then he said, because we want to keep you as close to your schedule as possible. And I'm like, okay, why ain't I working nights? So then he goes, well, if you want to work days, I can ask Mike, and maybe Mike will switch with you. That's what the deputy chief told me. And I told you this last week. Mike's got 30 years on in January. He's got the say. So then I tell that to Mike, and he goes, that's bullshit. They told me that you told them you wanted 3 to 11s. And I'm like, Mike, does that make any sense to you? He's like, well, no. Right. And I go, think about it. First of all, I got no say here. So anyways, they're forcing him to come back to work on Sunday. He had some independent medical review where the workman's comp and the independent medical review figured he can't get any better. I don't know how that works. So they're forcing him.
So this is like
that's
as good as
basically
it's
it.
gonna get, so
So
you
he's
gotta go
coming back to work on Sunday,
Wow.
Sunday night, and he still can't steer a car with his wrist. So
they're not
No.
going to medically retire him?
then I'm driving in on Tuesday, and I posted my first video on my Instagram page, Marrazzo Woodworking, and it was a video I shot a while back of me breaking down some flag stuff. And my buddy called me, who's suing the village because he's got a workman's comp case. And he's like, hey, I saw the video you posted. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, you should take that shit down. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, dude, you're like walking around your shop. Like, it was before I got injured. Doesn't matter. Take that shit down. Take it from me. They're going to fuck you. Take it down. I said, how about this? I just won't post anymore until I'm cleared to go back on the street.
I would keep the
Date
original
stamped.
video because it's going to be
Yeah, but you know what sucks is after I
stamped. And
I
show
edit all
prior
that
to
stuff
the
from like
injury.
long videos, and then I delete the video because it takes up space and memory on my phone. So, whatever. So I'm like, all right, whatever, fine. And then they pull some dick move on Thursday. So Wednesday, Thursday, there's a huge homicide conference here in the Chicagoland area. I've gone to the same conference 2 times when I was the forensic investigator on the homicide team. So all of our investigators are there. All of our brass is there. So there's no detectives or sergeants or lieutenants or commanders or anything. You're the chief. So I come in to see Mike on Thursday, and he's got a letter. And that's the letter that they said, you must come back to work on Sunday. If you decide not to come in, you can no longer, you'll be using your own personal time, sick time, vacation days, whatever. You're no longer getting workman's comp off. So then we're talking about it, Mike and I, and then I get a phone call from the deputy chief. It was like, hey, Mike, how's work? I'm like, what's up? Hey, I need you to run a letter out to Officer B, who's also off on injury. He pulled someone out of a fire and hurt his back, and he's been on restricted duty. I'm like, you want me to do what? You need to hand deliver this letter to him at his house. I'm like, what? Me, patrolman. All right.
Porter KY.
So they're mailing him one certified mail, and they're having me actually work as a server, process server. Right? That's
Wow.
basically what they did to me.
That's dirty.
So I call him. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm on my way to your house. He's like, what? I go, yeah, I got a letter for you. He's like, all right, see you when you get here. So, and then I get a text from the chief, deputy chief. Make sure you hand it directly to him, and I want you to text me that he got it. I'm like, what? All right, so I'm pissed. I can't say no, right?
Yeah. But
No.
Just don't.
No.
Just don't
So
pass the smell
I
test.
see him, and he's like, I'm going to fucking send him my Ring camera footage just so they know you came out here and gave it to me. So I talk with him for a few minutes, and it's a bad thing. And then I come back, and then, of course, there's no one there to complain to, right? So I text the DC, and I just go, done. That's all I say. And then he sends me, thank you, Mikey, with a big exclamation mark. Like, I'm like, all right. So I get back to the station, and then the nighttime sergeant comes in, and we start talking about it. And he's like, what the fuck? It's actually my sergeant, because it was my shift was coming on. And he goes, you did what? That's fucking something that a white shirt should be doing. That's a boss should be doing that, not a patrolman. He goes, no offense. I go, no offense. I'm not offended. It's not my job as a patrolman. Right. Hello.
I agree.
So I'm like, fuck this. So Friday I come in, and I go right to the DC's office. And I'm like, hey, Joe, there's a dick move yesterday. He's like, what? I go, sending me to give him his letter? What's the big deal? We had to get it there. I go, the big deal is that's you. You should be bringing that to him. You or the chief or the lieutenant or the sergeant. Not me. Even his own sergeant. Well, there wasn't anybody around. I go, you're all at a conference. Someone could have went and delivered it, not me. Don't ever do that to me again. Well, it's not that big of a deal. I go, it is. It's a big deal to me, and you used me, and I don't care for that. And then I left his office. I went and hung up my flag for my lieutenant that I made him. The next office over. So that was my week. I handled like one call. A guy came in. I don't know what this guy's motive was. I heard him on the phone. I'm sitting. I don't know.
What is any of their motive?
And this is so petty. My first day on Monday, I'm in the squad room with all my buddies. it's like 3:15. I'm sitting in the squad room. I can see the camera that shows the lobby. I can see if someone comes in, and we have a phone that you pick up to call dispatch for service. So I'm watching the front, and then I'm talking to the guys, and then the DC sticks its head in, and he goes, "Hey, Mike, come here." So I go in his office, and he goes, "Oh, yeah, I don't want to tell you this, but I have to tell you this. The chief doesn't want you, like, in the squad room. You got to go sit up in the front, in the little office up there, where there's no TV, you know." Yeah, our fishbowl. Yeah.
You'd be in the fishbowl.
And I'm like, all right, whatever, dude. I brought my computer so I could do all my YouTube stuff, you know. So I'm like, fine.
Yeah.
And there's a desktop up there, but we can't get onto our MDT client on this desktop up there. We can get on them in the back in the squad room, so they can see that I would be on shift and they could send me stuff and I could run stuff. They don't have that up there. So I'm like, whatever. So then, of course, I stay up there till everyone leaves, and I go in the back with the guys. Because my sergeant's like, fuck that, don't go sit up there. Sit back here with us. You can see the door. You can see when someone comes in. So that's what they want you to make you. They want to make you feel like they want to make it so bad that you want to come back to work injured. Yeah.
Exactly. That's kind of what I was getting at a couple weeks ago of like, dude, this is miserable. Because it's an isolation tactic to get you to try to come back to work before you're ready. Now, I don't know that's what my department's doing. I know they're very liability conscious. It's like, I don't want you outside of this room where you could possibly make it worse.
Right.
But we are hurting for people.
Hurry up.
So if you could maybe not be hurt anymore, that'd be great.
Just cut the finger off like in a ceremony
we even had a captain.
The Yakuza does.
Yeah, that's a buddy of mine. That's a sergeant. He's like, dude, you don't need that.
Right.
Just cut it off, man. It's more trouble than it's worth. Just cut it off. I look at it.
Blowtorch it.
Let's go. I'll run and let this bitch right now. But yeah, that's such a stupid thing. At least you have something that like you're there to. You could like write a report.
Yeah.
If you actually needed to. We are
isolated.
Like, off to the side. I even brought it up to the captain when he came in there. He's like, "This is kind of stupid to keep you guys here." I agree. You should send us to the investigations bureau where we can help out one of these short-staffed units. Like write a search warrant and put
tools
some
in your belt.
You guys talk about putting tools in your tool belt. Guess what? That would be a great tool to put in my tool belt. It'd be like, hey, I helped write these warrants on this robbery case, this gang case, this assault case.
Yeah, that makes too much sense, Brandon.
But it is ultimately run by the government, so therefore,
they don't do it.
If it makes sense, you are not allowed to do it.
So that's it, man. I just had a very easy Monday through Friday. What it did allow me to do was remember what it's like to work 5 days in a row, because it's been God knows how long, and then show me what it's going to be like in 6 months. How
do you like the 5-day work week versus the 4-day
I don't do
work
4-day work weeks. I do 2 days, then I'm off 2 days.
Oh, that's right. You
then
have
I work
these
3 days.
Weird.
And then the next
schedules.
1 week I'm only off Wednesday, Thursday. Yes.
Oh, that's right, because you guys work 12s and all that.
The next week I only work Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm off Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So working 5 days in a row.
Man, that actually does sound really nice, but I've worked 12s before.
After hour 10, it gets long. But you just watch 2 more Netflix shows.
Yeah, like those last 2 hours are
That's just 2 more hours of Netflix.
That's true.
Are you kidding?
That's true. See, I'm excited because if I go to day shift or swing shift, so on midnights, I've always said, like, yes, I have 3 days off. I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday off. Thursday is
it is because you have to flip
loss.
your schedule.
Yeah, you have to try to, somehow figure your life out. So you're really off only Friday, Saturday. And Friday, you're still kind of like feeling like
you have to stay up.
And then Saturday, you actually start to feel good, but then you get really depressed in the afternoon because you know that you have to go back
you have to stay
work
up all night,
the next day. Yeah, and you know you're going to stay up all night. But I'm really excited at the prospect of having 3 days off.
Right,
like
especially if you're on the day shift
like
or the swing shift. Yeah.
Yes, I'm as much as I hate traffic, I cannot emphasize that enough. I loathe traffic, sitting in traffic. That is hell. That is hell for me.
Why don't you put on the Handcuffs and Sawdust podcast while you're driving to work, and I'll make you make you laugh.
I would.
From what I hear.
But here's the part where I'm selling myself on it. My recruiter is going to probably be writing till probably 7, 8 o'clock every day. Traffic is usually pretty died out by then. So, still get home, like 9 o'clock. Not going to see the kids, but get to see the wife for a little bit. And then for 3 days,
right,
I'm me.
Yeah, it'll be awesome,
able to
man.
be present.
I'm very happy for you.
So, I am looking forward to maybe possibly getting some of the natural
what's that?
vitamin D from the sun.
Yeah, my doctor makes sure I'm on 3,000 IUs a day because I don't see the sun.
Yeah, that's I finally the reason why I don't go to didn't go to the doctor very regularly is I was always afraid I was going to get that news of you have cancer.
What the fuck is that?
Or, you have a tumor. It's an irrational fear. Okay. And if I don't know about it, it's not real. So I ended up going to the doctor you know what? I'm coming up on my mid-30s. I need to do a better job of this because I don't want to die. And the doctor's like, do you work? When do you work? I told her I was a cop. She's like, at night. She goes, you need vitamin D. She goes,
yeah, we're all white paley skins. We have moonburn.
Look like you feel like shit. Yeah. I
Right.
I do feel like shit. She's like, take vitamin D. And she all this other stuff.
Yeah.
You need to supplement the stuff that you're not getting from the sun. And she goes, on your weekends, 15 minutes a day, go stand outside. So I don't care what you do, you just stand outside and just have the sun.
And that feels so good when we can do that. It really does.
It does.
I will never look down on working a 5-day work week again if I can see the sun all damn day, every day. So that's what this last 4 years has taught me.
Yeah, I was talking with my brother-in-law, and I've always told him I love midnights. I do. I love the work on midnights. I love the pride that comes with being a midnighter. But I'm really tired of feeling like crap and not sleeping. The last year and a half, my sleep has been.
You don't have the luxury to do what I do, and that's just stay on night shift schedule.
No,
you can't. I did what you're doing, and I did it for a long time,
no.
and I couldn't do it anymore. And luckily, my kids are grown and they're doing their own thing, so now I just fucking sleep during the day.
Yeah, if I didn't have to flip my schedule,
it helps
every so often.
It helps, but you still it just gets more and more depressing because you don't see the sun.
Yeah,
so whatever.
That's true.
So nothing major going on as far as cases I've worked or cool calls I got to take part in. I did go to one of my. So last night, my buddy who was sergeant on the night shift at work last night, he was like, "Hey, come check out what I did at my house." What's cool is he just got married. His wife was in CPD for the last 4 years, and she just left CPD and went to Lake Forest Police Department. That's where the Bears have their training facility. Lake Forest is nothing but money on top of money on top of money. So she lateraled in, and they start at 98,000. And after they finish probation, it jumps up to 107, and it just keeps going on up from there. So he was he takes me to his house to see what the recent work he did, and because he lives literally 5 minutes. He lives in the city, and it's 5 minutes from work. He's on the far west side of Chicago because she had to live in the city to be a CPD. You have to live in Chicago. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
So we go to his house, and she's got a friend over, and I go, "Hey, congratulations on getting out of Chicago and to Lake Forest." And she's like, "Yeah, thanks, man. It's great." She goes, "It's kind of weird because she's not dealing with shitheads anymore, right?" So she's with her FTO.
She's dealing with real
it's funny because they go to the uniform store to get her uniforms, and it's in Chicago. And they park out in front, and one of the guys is just going to get out of the car without a vest on. And she says to the FTO, "What are you doing?" He's like, "What? I'm going to go in the uniform store." And she goes, "You without a vest?" "Yeah." And he's like, "Yeah." And she goes, "No, not here. This is Chicago. Put your vest on." She's telling the FTO, "Put your vest on before you get out of the car." Yeah. So
What are you, an idiot?
okay. So then she was telling me about a questionnaire that she had to do. She's getting ready to go on the street for the first time. They've been doing a bunch of training, and he's like, "Okay, tell me about some non-traffic arrests. How many non-traffic arrests do you have?" And she's like, "I don't know." Yeah, it's like
Thousands.
she's like, he goes, "What do you mean you don't know?" And she's like, I literally hundreds. I don't know. I've taken 12 guns off the street, and yeah, and he's like 12 guns off the street, and she says, "Yeah."
Does he
I know.
not know that she
And then
worked
he's
in
like,
Chicago? Like, did he not get like a little profile?
Right.
Like, oh, she's lateraling in from Chicago. Maybe I
right.
can just sleep for
He's
a
like,
while.
"Well, tell me about one of the most difficult calls you had." And she said, "Well, the first homicide I went on." And he's like, "First homicide? How many have you been on?"
Yeah, the first one was really confusing, but once I
Yeah.
figured it out, like,
See,
homicide
that's what's
7,
so
8, and
crazy,
9 were
man.
a
You go from
breeze.
city to that. And her biggest shock is going to be just talking
Oh,
to the
yeah.
public, because those people, they think they own you. Yeah.
Don't complain.
Anyways, so we go. Right.
I pay your salary.
The moral of the story is I'm with my buddy who's the sergeant, and he's driving, so we're going to go see his house and look at the new stuff that he's done. So we leave town. Then one of the guys, there's a crash, and there's a traffic crash, so they send 2 guys. There's only 4 guys working. They send 2 guys to the crash and the suspect DUI. And if, sure enough, DUI. So 1 guy's down on a DUI. We're out of town. That guy's down on a DUI. The remaining 2 guys get called to a fight with 15 people in progress at a bar.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, are praying.
So they start responding to the bar fight that's in the parking lot with 15 people. And we placed an order for food. So we go,
You're on a
we go
field
to his
trip.
house. He has to get money from his wife because they only take cash at this place. And then I thought I had $22 when my 10 was folded in half, and I actually only have $12. And then we're trying to get back to work, but we got to pick up the food. And then we hear, all right, the 2 cars that got dispatched to the scene for the fight are pulling up. And then he hears, the lieutenant call on scene, and he's like, "The hell's he doing working?" Well, the lieutenant just happened to be in his office an hour after his shift ended, heard the fight call,
I heard a fight
and
with
ran
15
out.
people. He's like,
Right.
Let's go.
So everyone's
I
on
can
a call,
manage
and we're on a
this.
field trip. And he's got a call holding for another 1050, which is a crash. Up 1050 for us is a crash. So I got all the food, and he's like, "You got to jump out at the station. Just jump the fuck out of the squad. I got to go handle this crash." I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna eat." Yeah. So
Tuck and roll,
we
tuck and
ordered.
roll.
I wanted a beef dipped with mozzarella, beef dipped with mozzarella and sweet peppers and hot peppers on the side. I don't know what he ordered and what the other guys ordered because I wasn't listening. So he throws me out of his squad to go to the crash, and I got all the food, and I'm the only one in the station.
I thought he
No,
kept the food
so I
with him.
go in the
My
station,
sandwich.
and I'm like, it's
My
like 8 o'clock, and I haven't eaten since noon, so I'm fucking hungry. No,
Did you eat
but so
everybody's food?
the guy who's off on restricted duty, who's coming back Sunday, he was in there because he wanted to talk to the boss. So, I opened the
eat
sandwich, and
everybody's
it's drenched. It's awesome. They dipped it, and it's filled with hot peppers. Now, I ordered a beef with sweet peppers, mozzarella, no hot peppers. I
Yeah,
go,
see.
man. Yeah.
You had hot
And,
peppers on the side.
and there was a side of hot peppers there, but I'm like, what the fuck? They fucked up my order. Well, I'm starving. So I fucking eat it. And I tell Mike, these fucking assholes, I'd never been to this place before. This is supposed to be great. They fucked up my sandwich, and I'm stuffing it down my face. And then everyone comes in after, and they got a couple of arrests, and everyone's piling in. And Jeremy comes in, and he's like, "Where's our food?" I'm like, "It's in the microwave." He goes, "Why'd you put it in the microwave?" I'm like, "Because it holds heat. I don't know. It's in there. It's keeping warm."
Didn't
He goes, "All
want
right."
it to get
Now I
cold.
finished eating like 10 minutes ago. So he's pulling shit out of the bag, and he goes, "Where's my beef?" And I go, "There was only one beef in the bag, and I
What?
ate it. They fucked it up. They
Where's
fucked
my
up my
beef?
order." And he goes, "Did it have hot peppers on it?" I go, "Yeah." "Was there cheese on it?"
Yeah, it
I go,
did.
"No."
I ordered sweet peppers.
He goes, "That's my fucking beef." He ordered I ate his beef.
Son of a bitch.
I'm bitching that they fucked up my order, and my beef's in the microwave. Yeah.
I just want you to know that everybody listening
Doesn't know what a beef
not
sandwich is.
from like the Chicago area. No. When you say
Yeah.
I ate his beef, it does not sound the same.
Okay. All right.
As it
Well,
does
it's a
to
beef
you.
sandwich. It's roast beef on a
I
French
understand
bread.
that. It
dipped in
sounds
the
delicious.
juice. Okay.
I Yes.
See,
I understand.
I guess that would
I know
sound
what
funny.
you're talking about.
Right.
I'm just hearing
Okay.
it through California ears
Yeah.
going,
Okay.
I ate his beef. I ate his beef.
Okay.
Damn it, Mike.
Forget that I ate his sandwich. How about
YouTube's
that?
not going to understand
I
that.
ate his sandwich, and I complained that the order was wrong
No,
the
I
whole
prefer
time,
you saying
and
that
it was
I ate
actually
his
correct.
beef.
I just ate the wrong one.
And you're just
Yeah.
sitting there cussing them out.
And as he's eating my sandwich, my buddy Mike's going, "Do you believe they fucked up Mike's order?" And Jeremy's eating my sandwich. That was perfect. So,
Shut up, you son of a bitch.
all right, time for some serious shit. Brandon, who's this episode brought to us by?
Marrazzo Woodworking and Full
Thank you very much.
House Woodworking.
Might as well sponsor our own fucking show.
Yeah. Today's episode brought to you by
No, it's brought to you
absolutely
by
nobody.
two fine woodworkers. All right.
I know, but it's also funny to say
Right.
we're not sponsored
Don't mind-
at all.
I've got a
Well,
few
I mean,
sponsorships
you
going.
are.
All right. And if you need to know what those are, you just look at my YouTube, my Instagram. One of them right now is I got a promo code that you can get stuff for
I can't even
Base
properly
camp
flip
masks.
you off with this hand.
there's a promo code in my profile.
That
BCMM
one rubs me wrong.
10% off.
I've had that fucking mask for so long. And they just out
That's
of
a-
the blue hit you up like, hey,
What
man.
about me? I own your shit. I bought your shit. Send me something. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I paid money for
Okay.
it.
I love you, Brandon, if I haven't told you that lately.
This is bullshit.
Real quick, there's two stories that I have. One of them's actually was a survey or some bullshit that I saw on lawenforcementtoday.com. And it says breaking news, and they got the big, headline. Breaking news. Oh. Breaking news. It says, reformed? ? Study shows more than 2 million crimes committed by released prisoners. And then, period, 2, period, million, period. I love the emphasis. Yeah, there's an immense difference between a prison sentence and the time actually served. The average state prison sentence served is less than 2 years for property offenders and less than 3 years for violent offenders. This is... Go ahead.
So you're telling me that maybe we need prison reform, because if I'm not mistaken, the main goal of prison is rehabilitation. Like, I know in California, CDCR stands for California Department of Rehabilitation
Yeah, that's
and
interesting.
Corrections.
I don't know if they're correcting anybody.
So if they're definitely not. I mean, there are
Here's
highly sophisticated criminal
Right.
organizations that are being
from
run
prison. Yeah.
from fucking prison.
So this is the latest data from the
That's,
Bureau
it's
of
interesting.
Justice Statistics of the U.S. Department of Justice in August of 2021. This is regarding a 5-year follow-up of people released from prison, and there's a link to that study. Released prisoners. Here's just the quick rundown. Released prisoners who serve less time had higher arrest rates. So during the 5-year follow-up period, an estimated 1.1 million arrests occurred among the approximately 408,000+ prisoners released in 2012. So from all those prisoners that were released in 2012, they committed 1.1 million more crimes to get arrested on.
Again, it just shows that the recidivism rate in this country is absolutely off the chain, and that maybe we should look into maybe some sort of prison reform and actually get people help and teach them maybe a skill while they're in prison, so that when they come out of prison, they can actually
Right.
get a job and be a contributing member to society. Like maybe, just maybe, the cops aren't the problem. Maybe the problem is the system.
It says since 2008, across 24 of the states, 82% were arrested at least once during 10 years following their release. 82%! And the annual arrest percentage among
Yeah.
persons released from prison in 2012, that declined over time, with 43% arrested at least once in year one. That's almost half of them in year one. So that was an interesting story.
So I think part of this is also there is something to be said for being institutionalized. So similar to people who are getting out of the military, like I just speaking for myself and for the handful of friends that I've talked to about this stuff, that first year, once you separate from the military, is incredibly hard because you no longer have that structure, that routine. You don't have somewhere to be. You don't have a time to be there. You don't have, that very regimented stuff, which, I mean, let's face it, prison is similar to that. You have, wake up at this time, chow, yard time, whatever the
rape,
fuck you're gonna
ass
do,
rape.
and then, lights out. Yeah, there's sodomy and then oral copulation. Maybe you get a little, little penetration with a foreign object. Who knows? I don't know how you roll. I'm not sure. But then you get out, and all of a sudden you have this whole big wide world, and you still know a bunch of shitheads. Because let's face it, if you went to jail, you probably were hanging out with shitheads. Like it wasn't a one-off. So maybe we should better prepare people for life outside of it. I don't know. I may not be a smart man, but
you are a man.
I can point out obvious shit.
The second one's very sad. And
All right, back to your regularly scheduled programming of
Mike's back!
shit.
Woohoo! It's sad shit.
Podcast. All right.
It's because this is the world we live in, man. Not all of us, but law enforcement and the people that don't really know what's going on.
Those of you that may be driving right now, like over and over,
don't drive
or something like that. Like press pause until you're
or you
like
clear
on
the railroad
level
tracks.
ground. Yeah, let's
That's
just
right.
all right. Get yourself in a safe spot. Get some tissues ready because it's gonna suck.
This was from October 11th. So this says manhunt chaos led to a 15-hour delay in finding a Louisiana trooper's body. And then there's a quote from the state police colonel, Lamar Davis, that said it created the perfect storm for this to happen. So byline is Baton Rouge. This is from The Advocate by Leah Skeen. A Louisiana state trooper was shot to death while typing reports inside his patrol car early Saturday morning in Prairieville, but another 15 hours would pass before another officer found him unresponsive. A delay that agency leaders called absolutely unacceptable and a perfect storm of communication failures. During a press conference Monday afternoon, State Police Colonel Lamar Davis released more information about the alleged ambush of Master Trooper Adam Gaubert, which added to the mayhem and tragedy of a massive multi-parish manhunt for Matthew Meyer, the shitbag who's the suspect in shooting the trooper and several others. Davis said the chaos of the manhunt likely led to Gaubert going undiscovered for the next 15 hours. He said troopers were maintaining radio silence during the search, meaning non-emergency radio calls were suspended. He said it created the perfect storm for this to happen. Normally, Gaubert would have signed off around 6 a.m. when his overnight shift ended, telling his colleagues 10-7 over the radio. But those calls are suspended during major emergencies like a manhunt or other critical incident per agency protocol. That's what Davis said. So the lack of communication from Gaubert raised no red flags. People not involved... Go ahead.
Does it say what time his body was discovered?
Yeah, I'm getting to that. So people not involved in the immediate event are not to communicate on the radio. That's their policy. And you have radio silence in your department. We do too. And we share our band with 3 other towns. Yeah. So when one of us has an emergency like that, no one can talk on the radio. So a lot of people might not understand that. But even if Adam had been fine, he would not have communicated. That's what he's saying. Gaubert had served 19 years with the Louisiana State Police. He was assigned to Troop A and mostly patrolled Ascension Parish. They call their counties parishes down there. So if anyone's wondering if he's driving around in a church, no, the parish is a county. So on the night,
It took me a long time to figure out when I first learned about like.
You know how I
parishes in,
learned?
like Louisiana.
watching Steven Seagal, because he was on TV as that he was a police officer in a parish down there.
Yeah, he was like
He
like
was
a
a
sheriff or something.
county. Yeah, he was a reserve sheriff on the parish, like
Yeah, he was a
captain or
reserve
something,
county
and
sheriff.
he was out every night on the streets.
Yeah, he like
Yeah. I don't know what the show was called, but it was pretty cool because he was a badass. So the night of his a fat
played
badass? He was actually a
Played a
badass. You know, he's the only Westerner ever to teach martial arts in the Far East. Yeah.
Yes, I'm
And
sure
he's
he's a
fantastic
martial
marksman.
artist.
Just so you know. In real life. So
Introduce a little
all
adrenaline.
right.
Let's see.
His heartbeat doesn't get over 62 beats per minute when he's killing somebody. Can we get back to the story?
Yeah, the movies, I'm sure. Go for it.
The night of his death, officials believe Galbert had responded to a traffic accident, which he did, and then parked in a secluded spot behind the Capital One Bank to complete his report. We all do this. And
Yeah.
and
Go to
finish your
what you think is
paperwork.
a safe spot. And
Yeah. And we mentioned this in the past few episodes where if I'm not parked next to another squad, I'm not parked in the parking lot by myself anymore. So he did that.
yeah, I try
Yeah.
to find secure parking lots.
So here's where it says it was totally routine occurrence that had nothing to do with the search for Meyer. So all this shit's going on. He's doing a traffic crash, goes in the parking lot behind a bank to do his report. So this guy Meyer had already shot his neighbors in French Settlement around midnight, stolen a pickup truck, and headed toward Ascension Parish. Investigators believe Meyer ambushed Galbert and shot the trooper multiple times before then committing another double shooting at a house less than a mile away. Galbert filed his last police report at 2:21 a.m. Just minutes later, around 2:30 a.m., video surveillance shows Meyer driving with his headlights off toward the area where Galbert was parked. Davis said. Within a half hour, local law enforcement received reports of a double shooting right around the corner. Authorities believe Meyer shot two relatives, leaving a woman dead from her injuries and a man in critical condition. Officers responded to that scene, the double shooting, at around 3 a.m., but had no idea Galbert also desperately needed help. His body went undiscovered until around 6 p.m. Saturday night. 6
He
a.m.
typically clicks off at 6 a.m. 12 hours later, this body's discovered. Now, I'm imagining that they run some sort of computer-aided dispatch
I'm sure they have a
system
CAD,
where you
but
would
they
log
don't
into a computer
log out from the computer, I'd imagine.
and-
Like,
Well, I can't imagine that still being logged into that computer would
not a red
like,
flag.
register as normal
Right.
12 hours after. Yeah, like that's got to raise some sort of suspicion for somebody.
Right. Yeah, we have to say 10. Well, my last department, we would come on. Dispatch was in a different building like it is in my current department. We'd say 10:41, starting our shift. And then 10:42, we were done. This department, we don't say any of that. We just, like you leave. But sometimes the guys won't even log off their MDT. I have to log them off when I get in because I have to use the same MDT. So I log them out and then I log on.
Yeah.
But we don't punch out on the MDT. We don't even call out on the radio. But if no one's heard from us, then we don't take our cars home like the troopers do. So that's different.
Yeah.
But if no one's heard from us, our dispatch will at least status check us once. I don't. So anyways.
Yeah. So like for us, it's kind of the same thing as you. Like we do mostly everything over the computer. Like there's some guys that like our motors unit, if they don't have a computer, so they come up over the air. Hey, log me on, or 10-7 OD. But even when I worked in Monterey, you would like log out of the computer, and then you would come up over the air and say, hey, just
we
log
don't.
me off. Good night.
We don't do that either. So it could be bad.
But now, like even if I like forget that I was logged into the computer and leave, I guarantee you 2 hours within 2 hours I would be getting a phone call from dispatch. Hey, are you good?
Right.
Oh yeah, sorry, I just forgot to log out. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I've gotten a
I'll
call
log out.
after work and go, "Are you still working?
And
You're on the
done.
MDT." And I'm like, "No, man, I'm at home." So
Yeah. No, my bad. And they're okay. Well, have a good night.
yeah.
Or have a beer for me.
So they
But yeah, that to me, that's, and I understand, not being up on the air when you're working a major critical incident, but at some point, like someone's got to go, hey, we need to check the status of people.
So right, and so they're obviously trying to learn from this incident, and this shitbag was then in a chase. He got shot. He's in the hospital, and they have a quote from him here. He was actually speaking to the officers who were guarding him in the hospital, and he said, he was handcuffed to the bed and stuff, and he's in the hospital. And he said he actually asked the officers guarding him how Trooper Gaubert was. And then he said, "I didn't mean to, but the guy was watching the house." He had no idea that this shit was going on and that the shitbag was even near him. He wasn't watching the house. He just happened to be in a bad location by himself at a bad time. So I'm hoping that if any of you else that listen to the show that do our job have similar rules and radio blackouts and don't call down or whatever, however you guys log in and log off, it has to change nationwide. So especially like us, our dispatch, and you're not in the same building. No one knows if you're on or off. So there has to be a better form of communication telling dispatch that you're okay and you're home or you're done or whatever. So I don't know what they're going to do, but they're obviously addressing it now because of this unfortunate event.
Yeah, and I agree. It's kind of a perfect storm.
Yeah. No, definitely
It doesn't
not.
mean it's okay.
Just that all of that happening, asking for radio silence or demanding it per their orders. I mean, even that, I'm sure they also have the GPS in their car. We don't. I'm sure you do. Because we don't have money, so we don't have a GPS. They ask you where you're at. Not at my sergeant's house. We're not getting a beef sandwich from down the street.
Yeah, we're definitely not out of town.
So
definitely not on a field trip. I remember when I worked in Monterey, they had recently, or they got GPS like after I got there, and man, the old timers,
they were
pissed. The sergeants loved it though. Like we would have these little. We contracted out a company called like Predictive Policing, and it would take in data and say, hey, if you're in this little square, like quarter mile by quarter mile,
look out
square,
for this.
Just being in that square during this time period, will deter crime. So I would go sit in my box. We call it a little pred pull box, and then like all of a sudden my sergeant would come driving up. He's like, "Hey, what's
deterring
going on?
crime.
Why are you here?" It's like, "Oh, I just GPS'd you. I saw you on the thing. Why are you here? Why are you not making traffic stops at 3:00 in the afternoon when just normal human beings are commuting around picking their kids up from school?"
Right.
Because I'm not a dick. Can't imagine why I don't work there anymore.
Welcome to Lake Forest, where my friend's wife's going to be.
Yeah.
You have to help that lady in her house with her groceries.
Yeah. When I went to go work on the west side of town, like that's where the more affluent people are. I had to relearn how to speak to people because I've mentioned this in an earlier episode. I like to work gang neighborhoods. I like shitheads.
Right.
I speak their language.
Yeah.
We understand each other.
Can't talk to those other
rich people.
No.
I don't know. I can't tell rich people to fuck off.
Nope. There's a completely different way to speak to people amongst those two beats, I'll say.
Well, it's funny because people are like, "Oh,
no, you don't." No, right? No, you shouldn't.
You shouldn't. If I treated everybody the same, I would be in a lot of trouble.
And either way, because if you treat the shitheads and you put your kid gloves on and try not to talk to them the way they need to be talked to, you're going to get hurt.
What's my favorite thing to see is like these kids that are fresh out of the academy and try to talk to a gangster. Excuse me, sir.
Right.
Yeah, motherfucker, why are you calling me sir? Son? Like, are you going to let him call you son? Curb sit him.
Well, we've come to... Now, last week we just had a fun episode about nothing. So we did not do the officer memorial. So I looked back to see what covered the last 2 weeks. And we lost 11 officers, only 3 from COVID this time. 5 by gunfire, including the trooper we just spoke about. 1 traffic crash, 1 pursuit, and 1 assault. Yeah. And I wanted to have the press conference queued up from the Maricopa County Sheriff about the assault because it was awesome. I don't have it queued up, but you can search it. I'll put a link. I might add it. And also put a link to it. But
depends how fancy you want to get. That's visible frustration.
Oh my God, it was visible frustration, and we'll get to that story so people know what we're talking about. But while I'm bringing up the list, Brandon, is there anything you want to talk about this week as far as leaving our people in Afghanistan?
So for those of you watching, you can see down in the corner I have hashtag SOA. That stands for Save Our Allies. SaveOurAllies.org is an organization that is currently doing the State Department's job and getting American citizens, American SIV holders, so special interest visas, where these are interpreters that worked hand in hand with our Special Operations Unit, infantry people, hand in hand with our military, Afghan nationals, that without them we would have lost 10 times more service members down in Afghanistan. They're still trapped. They're still being hunted by the Taliban, and they are still being executed when they are found. Save Our Allies. If you can donate something. If you can't donate money, donate like diapers. Go to Save Our Allies on Instagram. They have a link tree. They even have an Amazon wish list. If you don't know what to donate or you're not sure the best way to help, go there. Donate diapers. We're taking in Afghan infants, children. They need diapers. They need formula. Mothers need, pads. They need all the things to help them breastfeed. America has always been... There's a reason why the Statue of Liberty is holding up a torch. It's a beacon. It's a beacon for the rest of the world that America is the land of opportunity. We are a land of hope, promise, and all that. So what Save Our Allies is doing is trying to be that beacon for the Afghani people that flat out don't want to live under a terrorist regime, because it's not a government, it's a terrorist organization. Even if it's a terrorist organization that right now is being funded by the United States government, by the way. Like, we sent them $64 million recently. So go help this fantastic organization. I can't say enough nice things about them. I cannot prop them up enough. SaveOurAllies.org. Donate something, even if you just share it with somebody who maybe can donate. There are American citizens. Like, that's the part that I really want to drive home. United States of America citizens that are trapped there. Trapped. They could not get to the airport because the Taliban controlled every single route into that airport. It's not that they wanted to stay. Don't let the White House press secretary tell you that, we're getting out everybody that we wanted to get out. Everyone that wanted to get out could not get to the airport. There are still people there. Help this organization get people home. It's going to be a long haul. It's going to take 3 to 5 years to get all these people rehoused, not just in America. They're partnering with nations across the world to get some of these Afghan refugees rehomed. And it's going to take time. It's going to take an outpouring of support from wonderful people that like you that listen to this show, like us. They need help. That's what we do. We help.
Thanks. All right. United States Department of Justice Drug Enforcement Administration Group Supervisor Michael G. Garbo. End of watch Monday, October 4th, 2021. Group Supervisor Mike Garbo was shot and killed while he and other regional task force members conducted an inspection of an Amtrak train at the Amtrak station in Tucson, Arizona. He and other task force members boarded the train, which was traveling from LA to New Orleans, to conduct an inspection for narcotics. They had detained one subject and were escorting him from the train when another man opened fire on them, fatally wounding Group Supervisor Garbo and another DEA agent. The subject then wounded another task force member as the two exchanged fire. The subject was later found dead inside one of the train's bathrooms. Group Supervisor Garbo had served with the DEA for 16 years and had previously served with the Metro Nashville Police Department in Tennessee. They did not give his age. Corrections Officer Vasar Richmond of the Bartlett Police Department in Tennessee. End of watch Monday, October 4th, 2021, from COVID-19. He was 62 years old and had served 38 years so far. Hardeman County Sheriff's Office in Tennessee, Deputy Sheriff Dale L. Wyman. End of watch October 6th, 2021. Deputy Sheriff Dale Wyman succumbed to injuries sustained while he was responding to a vehicle crash on August 10th. His patrol car left the roadway and overturned on a ditch on Highway 100 near Lake LaJory Road. The crash left him paralyzed from the chest down. Deputy Wyman was a U.S. Army veteran. He had served with the Hardeman County Sheriff's Office for 3 years. He is survived by his wife, 2 sons, a daughter, and grandchildren. He was 56 years old, 3 years of service in law enforcement. Corporal Timothy Michael Tanksley of the Alto Police Department in Georgia. End of watch October 8th, 2021, from COVID-19. 40 years old, 6 years on the job. He is survived by his son. Police Officer Dylan Harrison of the Alamo Police Department in Georgia. End of watch Saturday, October 9th, 2021, from gunfire. Police Officer Dylan Harrison was shot and killed outside of the Alamo Police Department at about 1 a.m. The subject fled the scene and was arrested the following day. Officer Harrison was working his first shift as a part-time police officer with the Alamo Police Department. He had served in law enforcement for 4 years and had previously served with the Middle Georgia State University Police Department, Cochran Police Department, Dodge County Sheriff's Office, and the Oconee Drug Task Force. He is survived by his wife and 6-month-old son. He was 26 years old. Master Trooper Adam Gaubert of the Louisiana State Police. End of watch October 9th, 2021, from gunfire. We just spoke about Trooper Gaubert. He was shot, ambushed in his squad while doing paperwork, and found 16 hours later. We do not have his age. He was on the job for 19 years. He is survived by his parents, 2 sisters, and 2 children, and he's also a military veteran. Master Deputy William Edward Marsh of the Rowan County Sheriff's Office in North Carolina. End of watch October 10th, 2021, from COVID-19. Was 40 years old, had served 20 years. La Paz County Sheriff's Office in Arizona, Sergeant Michael Rudd. End of watch Monday, October 11th, 2021. From a vehicle pursuit. Sergeant Michael Rudd was struck and killed by a commercial vehicle during the pursuit of a fraud suspect at about 1 a.m. The suspect was being pursued by members of the Quartzsite Police Department and the Arizona Department of Public Safety. Sergeant Rudd had exited his vehicle on I-10 when he was struck by a commercial vehicle that was not involved in the pursuit. Sergeant Rudd was a United States Air Force and Army veteran. He had served with the La Paz County Sheriff's Office for 8 years and is survived by his wife and 6 children. No age. Maricopa County Sheriff's Office Deputy Sheriff Juan Miguel Ruiz. Deputy Sheriff Johnny Ruiz succumbed to injuries sustained 2 days earlier when he was assaulted by a prisoner inside of the District 2 station at 920 East Van Buren Street in Avondale. He and other deputies had arrested a subject who was wanted for violating parole. Deputy Ruiz transported the man to the district station to book him. As he removed the handcuffs to place him in a holding cell, the man suddenly attacked him. A violent struggle ensued, during which Deputy Ruiz unsuccessfully attempted to use his radio to request assistance. The subject beat Deputy Ruiz unconscious, then stole his keys and used his patrol car to crash through the station's gate as he fled. Deputy Ruiz never regained consciousness and was kept on life support until October 11th, so his organs could be donated. He served with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office for 3 years. He was 45 years old. Correctional Officer 4, Tuam Alama Scanlon from the Fresno County Sheriff's Office in California. End of watch October 12, 2021. Correctional Officer Scanlon succumbed to gunshot wounds sustained on September 3rd of 2016 while he was responding to an active shooter inside the lobby of the main jail. A subject had entered the lobby and attempted to cut to the front of the visitation line. When he was told to go to the back of the line, he walked toward a metal detector leading to the jail's secure area. Officer Davila and another officer, who were both unharmed, attempted to get the man to sit down. The man produced a handgun and shot both officers in the head before being subdued by other responding officers. Officer Scanlon suffered severe wounds during the shootout and remained hospitalized until passing away on October 12th. He had served 10 years with the Fresno County Sheriff's Office and had previously served with the Fresno County Probation Department. He was 46 years old and he is survived by his wife and 5 children. 18 years total. Deputy Constable Kareem Atkins of the Harris County Constable's Office, Precinct 4 in Texas. End of watch Saturday, October 16th, 2021. Deputy Constable Kareem Atkins was shot and killed from ambush while arresting a robbery suspect in the parking lot of a sports bar in Houston. He and 2 other deputy constables were working a secondary employment assignment at the restaurant when a patron informed them of a robbery in the parking lot. Deputy Atkins and 1 of the other deputies responded to the location and were taking a suspect into custody when another man opened fire on them from behind with an AR-15 rifle. Deputy Atkins was struck in the head and fatally wounded, while the second deputy was shot in the back and seriously wounded. The third deputy heard the shots and was wounded as he rushed to assist the others. Deputy Constable Atkins has served with the Harris County Constable's Office, Precinct 4, for 2.5 years. He is survived by his wife and 6-month-old child who was 30 years old. And that is the list, the horrible list this week.
I remember
Really?
the Scanlon shooting. I was living in
Okay.
in Fresno
I figured
County
you
at
might.
the time. I had actually just finished my first police
okay.
academy. And that was shortly after I graduated in June. And then in September there was the shooting down there. I remember I remember seeing that on the news and the all the pictures of the lobby all shot up and evidence markers for each of the
How do they even get a gun
shell
into the
casings.
jail lobby?
So when you just walk through the main lobby, there's
What?
no metal detectors or anything. They wand you and everything prior to going. Well, it's just it's the lobby. We don't have a metal detector.
But that's
in
at
our
the
lobby.
police department, not at the jail.
You just walk in. Yeah, but the main lobby to the whole correctional facility, like it's a lobby.
All
just
our
like
jails are
anything
separate.
else.
All the jails in Cook County, and they all
Yeah,
have metal
so-
detectors. When you can't get into the lobby without going through a metal detector.
Yeah. So think of it as like short-term holding. So it's kind of hard to explain. So they have like county jail where it's a whole separate facility out away, and that is pretty strictly monitored. This is, say, like the jail
courthouse,
that's
okay.
connected to the courthouse. So there's still that lobby that you can go into for like visitation and stuff like that if you're going to be held for like real short time or if you have like court cases coming up. But yeah, it's just a big open lobby, and then if you're going to go visit someone, then yeah, you have to go through the metal detector and all that stuff. But
Okay, ours you can't get into the lobby without going
Yeah, I
through a metal
remember-
detector first. You come in the door and you're right at a metal detector.
yeah. So I mean that's from what I understand. I'll be honest, I haven't been inside Fresno County's main lobby jail, but if it's anything kind of like what we have in this county where I work, there's a little bit of an opening, and then if you're gonna there's offices, and then if you're gonna go to the actual correctional facility side, then
Okay.
there's like a
All right.
metal detector right there. So, but yeah, that was I remember it was a really sad time, and I think we went to about like 4 different charity cookouts, and we were pretty strapped for cash at the time. That was during that first year of being out of the military, so I was unemployed. I know Annie was, working what she could while I was doing the academy and stuff, and then I started driving for Uber, and I remember that being very important to us, that we try to do something to help help support him. So, and when I saw that the other day that he had finally passed, that really was sad to see, because I have a lot of friends that still work for Fresno County, so I know a couple that knew him personally, so I know they're hurting.
I'm sorry for their loss, and for the loss of all of the officers that we read off this week. I have a couple good stories. Not stories, these are heroes. We haven't done a hero of the week in a while. All right, here we go. Dateline August 7th, because it's been a while since we've done a hero of the week. So, hero of August 7th, that week. And
No, it's the hero of this week.
No,
this
remember
week's
what?
hero
Yeah,
of the
right.
week.
Okay,
Their
it just happened a
heroic
few months
action
ago.
Just occurred
Remember, we started
in
to
August.
pile these.
Nothing wrong with that.
And Squadcast is asking if I'm still here. You guys have been going for a long time. Are you still recording?
Yes, we're still here.
All right.
Yeah, because they're actually letting us do it this
All right.
time. Although I do like that, like my internet signal is at 3, and I know good and damn well.
I think
chugging
mine says
along
2 to
a lot
5,
better
and
than
once
that.
again, I'm hardwired in, so screw them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
New York cop rescues a baby from a crash near George Washington Bridge. The wide-eyed baby boy was found
seeing this.
dangling from his car seat in an SUV that was nearly tipped on its side. I thought he was... When I first saw the story, I thought the car was teetering to go over into the water. right? Not just sitting on a median wall.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when you see that.
Yeah, and
like,
I'm looking at the
holy
picture,
shit.
and it's a car that's teetering on the wall that separates the two sides of the interstate.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
It's like
So
high-centered.
a Port Authority cop swaddled a 14-month-old baby boy in his uniform shirt as he and his fellow officers rescued the tot from a crashed SUV teetering on a barrier near the George Washington Bridge. It was near the bridge, right?
It was near the
whole
bridge.
story is like clickbait.
Whoever wrote this was great. I guarantee you, if you dig into it, the author of this
Thomas
article,
Tracy.
prior military. I've written
Thomas
an
Tracy of the
EPR
New York
before.
Daily News. The wide-eyed lad was dangling from his car seat, secured by its straps, when Port
Clinging
Authority
to
police
life.
found the gray Chevrolet SUV resting on two wheels at a 45-degree angle on the New Jersey side of the bridge. The child's mother and another woman were driving. I'm not going to say this is a woman driving joke, but it was a woman driving. The child's mother and another woman were driving toward the famed bridge around 12 a.m. Wednesday when they lost control of the wheel and crashed into a Jersey barrier vaulting on top of the waist-high barricade.
Hey, man. Driving straight is very
Apparently.
difficult.
So
It's not easy.
cops first removed the baby, who was only in his diaper. A little hillbilly-ish there.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Maybe they just left the trailer park and they didn't have a clean shirt to put on him.
What? What?
I didn't
So
say you're
I'm
a
a hillbilly.
hillbilly.
Is what we're saying.
If you're driving around in your car without a shirt on, you're a hillbilly.
I've driven around with my kids in diapers.
Okay. No onesie? No San Francisco Giants onesie?
No,
They
it
don't
was
care.
hot
They're
as
kids. They don't give a
shit.
fuck what hot
No.
he is. They don't know. Back to the call.
We were going to Grandma's house to go to the pool. We were in.
Okay.
They were in a diaper.
It's okay there.
What's wrong with riding around in a
Port Authority police officer T.J. McPike took off his uniform shirt.
That's
And wrapped the child with it before passing the infant off to police officer Greg Rose, not as good of a name, who comforted the boy until
Hey,
his
Greg,
mother
take
could be
this in,
removed.
kid.
Don't drop him like the fucking Jets. Handle that thing better than fucking Sam Darnold. All right.
Sam Darnold doesn't.
He's with
play
the
for
Jets.
anymore.
He was at the time. Well, he is now.
No,
He was with the
he's
Jets
with
back.
the Panthers. He was not with
Oh,
the Jets
maybe
on
he
August
wasn't.
5th or 7th.
I thought it happened
This
last year.
happened.
We're so far behind with our heroes. I thought it was last year.
We haven't been doing
It
this.
feels
that
like
long.
it's been that long. Hey, we have a badass of the week. What? We have a badass of the week.
What?
Also from
Let's go.
policeone.com. There's a video that you can see. Pennsylvania cops rescue an unconscious man from a burning building. The three officers ran into the building,
You're
thick
not
with smoke,
firefighters.
before finding a man on the floor. Ben Salem Township, Pennsylvania, hello. 3 Pennsylvania police officers are being hailed as heroes after they pulled an unconscious man from a burning home, body cam video shows. According to Fox 5, officers Steve Ambs, Kenneth Branford, and Samuel Ladd responded to the fire on August 25th, just happens to be my son's birthday. Using a flashlight, the officers found a man laying on the floor. At first, the officers had to run back outside for fresh air, but they quickly returned and carried the man to safety. The man was taken to a hospital and last reported in stable condition. Quote, "You kind of black out in the moment, but I remember just pulling him out and getting him out to safety. And then we went
smoke
back
inhalation.
to check and make sure no one else was back in there," Officer Ladd told Fox 5. The officers were praised for their heroism in a meeting with Bucks County District Attorney Matt Weintraub. I know, we're all very
He
blessed to
has to
have
say.
each of you protecting us
Like,
as we go about our lives, Weintraub said.
was this an arson investigation? What the? Who cares what the DA has to say? There's no criminal charges. Watch, now the DA is going to try
They
to
kicked
charge
down
him
the
with
door.
something.
It's criminal damage.
Yeah. Felony
So-
vandalism.
Kudos to those 3 officers for running into I ran into a burning
Good
building
job.
once.
Yeah?
So we got a call of a fire, and I pull up. It's a 3-flat apartment
What?
building, so 3 levels. The entrance door has a canopy over it, like to block you from rain and stuff. So a small roof. Maybe it's like 4 by 4 feet.
Yeah.
So I pull up, fire's coming out of the top window, and I see a guy hanging out the window, the top floor window. He's hanging out. He's got a kid. He's dangling a kid down 3 stories, and he's swinging it like this, back and forth, and then swings and lets him go so the kid lands on top of that roof over the door. All right.
Okay.
Then I see him take a second kid, and he's doing that, right? And he flings this kid onto the roof over the door. Apparently, he must have missed with his wife, or she got impatient because she jumped from the window and was laying in a heap on the ground with broken legs. Okay.
I guarantee this is how the conversation went.
The
I'll
kids,
jump
yeah.
down. You throw
Well,
him
after
to
she
me,
didn't
I'll
make
catch
it,
him.
then he had to
Guarantee
come
that's
up
how
with
the
a separate
conversation
plan. And I'm like, holy shit. So I go in the
That's
building.
a bad idea.
Also, bad idea. I
That's
run
also a
up the
bad
3
idea.
flights of stairs. There's someone set a mattress on fire in the hallway. And that fucker's going. And I don't know if any of you have fire training. I was a fire investigator long after this. But once a mattress catches on fire and that shit hits the ceiling, it spreads to the corners, of the building. That's how fires spread. And they come down the walls.
Yeah.
So second bad idea. I'm up on that floor, can't breathe, can't see. I go, I'll just open this door with my hand. So I grab his doorknob
Fine.
like Joe Pesci in Home Alone, except it didn't have an M on it. And I'm like, holy fuck, that hurt. Well, and my shoelaces started on fire because I was right next to the fire. So I'm like, fuck, running down the stairs. I jumped from level 1 to 2. I jumped down to the next one, down to the next one. And I came out, and my buddy Chris, whose father was a firefighter in our village for like 35 years, wanted to punch me right in the face for running into a burning building and said, if you ever do that again, I'll shoot you on your way out. So never, thank God the fire department came and they got that guy out of the window. And but that was my one time I ran into a burning building story.
So I haven't run into a burning building. I have run into a fire.
Was it outside?
Like yes, it was
Were
outside.
you drunk?
But no. It's actually
Okay,
really funny body cam footage. So
All
I
right.
have to tell the whole story because that's how you really appreciate some of the phrasing and tone I took. So I'm working in the district I work in now, but this was 2 ago. Very busy district, and I mean it's my turn to wear it. I mean, we're talking it's midnight, and I'm already down 3 reports, and I haven't eaten, and all I want to do is just eat. I've taken like 2 people to jail. It has been a night, and we're not even halfway done. Yeah, so I finally go, you know what? Screw it. I sent a message out to the whole team. Hey, I'm hungry. I'm getting food. I'm going here. I'm going to start typing. Sorry, you guys are on your own for a little bit. Got my food, got my Jack in the Box. Started driving to our secure lot that we have in that district. And I see a glow over by this water treatment plant. And there's usually a security guard that has amber lights flashing. I'm like, oh, cool.
Is that a stripper's name that runs around? Amber Lights?
Driving.
Okay.
Yeah, Amber Lights. Yeah. She only works on Thursdays and then Sunday evenings.
Oh,
She's on the B squad. She's working real hard, though. She's trying to get on that A team. So as I drive closer, like this glow is getting brighter. Like, that's weird. It hasn't registered yet. Get even closer, and I see a eucalyptus tree, and it is on fire. I go, that sucks. I go, well, maybe. I had that brief thought. I was like, maybe I just drive away.
I'm starving.
I
it's just a fire.
Done. Yes, I want to eat. It's a fire.
Let it go
It's
out.
not a police thing. It's a fire thing. And then I look down, and I see in the opposite lane of traffic, there is a middle-aged Asian lady in her car, and she like is like wide-eyed and locks eyes with me. Like, damn it. Now I have to do something, because then if I don't, she's going to be like, these damn cops don't do their damn
With
job.
more of an accent, though.
Me. Yes, with probably more of a Vietnamese accent, because big Vietnamese population. So I hit my lights, turn around. Hey, start fire code 3. I've got a tree fully engulfed. And at this time, like, the fire's like maybe 5 feet up the tree. Like,
so it's not
a
fully
raging
engulfed?
Inferno.
The
trunk was fully engulfed. Yeah. And I was like, eh. And I know that like fire here's fully engulfed. Like
of course,
they're going to get a move on. And I'm watching because I can see the fire station
cool.
from down the street. It's like it's a straight shot. So I'm just sitting there staring at it, just waiting. Because I know once I get here,
you're gone.
No criminal aspect. I can get the hell out of here.
Get some food.
And go eat
Right.
before my curly fries
I'd be sitting outside
cold.
eating, watching it.
So my buddy shows up, and by the time he shows up, from the time I put it out to the time he showed up, it was less than a minute. That fire grew to freaking 15 to 20 feet up. And he just comes up to me and goes, you going to tell him that it's like
No, it said fully engulfed.
Like, I said fully, as I told you, I said fully engulfed, but this is bigger.
Nice.
Like, yeah, it's almost all the way up this
You should have told him to bring
30-foot
some
tree.
marshmallows.
Yeah. So we're just sitting there watching. I mean, there's not much we can do. Yeah, that's burning
Don't
up
go in
pretty
it.
good. So we see from the opposite side of the street now, this is a 2 lanes each direction center divide, or center turn lane. 5 total lanes. I see this figure come up out of the creek area, homeless folk, and he runs across all 5 lanes, and he starts walking along the sidewalk where this fire is. I was like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like, I understand that meth makes you do
everywhere.
stupid stuff.
They're everywhere.
But I'm just standing there staring at him like, hey, are you seeing this shit? I said, yeah. Like, what's he doing? Like, hey. And then he runs down where the fire is. And all you hear on my body cam footage is a heavy sigh and then God damn it.
Yeah.
And then we both start running over there.
God damn it.
Someone just ran into the fire. Can you give us restricted?
Right. Radio.
Can you
Need
tell
the radio.
everybody to shut up so that we can do this? And hey, what are you doing? Get the fuck out of there. And he looks at us. He goes, no, you go away. I'll put it out. And he's kicking dirt.
Was it
onto
his
the fire.
house? Was his tree house up there?
No. So we have
His
a theory.
ship,
we have a
his
theory.
drugs were there.
So eventually, probably, but so we had just had a case where day shift officers were trying to get a guy out of a burning car, and he was like, "No, this is my home. I'm not leaving it." So they ended up having to tase
Out
him
of a burning car.
and then pull him out.
Nice.
Yes. So
Oh,
they
my
had a use
God.
of force on saving somebody. It was great. So I asked him, "Are we going to have to tase him?"
Right.
No,
That's
he'll fall into
bad.
the fire. You
Don't
already thought
tase
about
near
that,
a
huh?
fire
Yep.
or a swimming pool or a roof. Someone's on a roof, don't tase them.
Yeah.
Unless there's a pool below them.
So, all right. I go, well, I guess we got to just go in there and get him. So we go in there, grab him, yank him, pull him off, basically throw him down, and then pick him up and carry him up. And the whole time we're carrying him up, he's like, "You ripped my leg off." Like, what do you rip your leg off? You have both legs, dumbass. So eventually my boss comes over, and we both go, "Hey, we may have used a little bit of force on this guy." He goes, "No,
That's
man,
right.
sounds like you were saving his life." I'm like, all right. He looked at me, hey, he goes, "Do you want to just go back to the creek, or do you want us to like check you out, run your name,
No.
send you to the hospital?"
I'm fine.
No, I go now.
Yeah.
So he left, and then one of the guys that had been around for a little bit, he looks at us and he goes, "I think that's
The
a dragon."
dragon?
So the dragon is this, I don't know if it's an urban legend or a myth or folklore or what. But the story goes there's a guy that basically runs the creek. So the creek that runs through our city is like where all the homeless live, and there's like a hierarchy of homeless people. The homeless people that live in the creek are basically seen as the bottom of the bottom.
But they have a water
community.
view. They should be the higher echelon.
Well, I mean, I can confirm that there is liquid
okay.
in the creek. I
Okay.
don't know
Fair
if it's
enough.
water. So we're like, so the dragon is this guy that's supposed to be like, he runs the creek, like he is the
Is a
guy.
dragon like this? So a tattoo of a dragon.
Yeah, and he's supposed to have this huge
Yeah.
dragon
That's awesome.
tattoo on his chest. So we're like, God dang! Like,
Yeah,
so
you
I'm
saw the
going with it.
dragon,
Like,
man.
That's the dragon.
Yeah,
I
you
saved
did.
the dragon's life. Yeah,
Nice.
I chased the dragon. I chased the dragon into the fire. But yeah, that's.
Let's
my only
keep it
fire
that
story.
way.
But getting on the topics of fires, my wife and I were talking because we were watching The Rookie, and in the most recent episode, they run into a burning building to save a guy, and my wife turns to me, I never do that. No, not unless it's like a kid screaming. They go in there because they hear a person screaming. Like, well, yeah, I'm not gonna like anything less or anything not a kid. Probably not gonna do that because I'm not a firefighter. It's
very
super
dangerous.
risky. But I understand where like your instincts kick in, where like the guy said that they black out and
Yeah.
just you went into lifesaver mode. So I totally get that. But if you have that conscious thought, ultimately, you might be the one that the fire department has to save,
And
which diverts resources from the person that needed the help in the
or
first place.
you blow out your back pulling a woman out of a fire, and then you miss work, and they screw you over and make you come back to work early. Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Fire bad.
Fire bad. Fire bad wants to hurt me. That is like one. Like, there's two ways I don't want to go.
No,
Drowning,
I'm right there with
burning.
you, brother. And if I'm burning, I'm jumping in a pool to put it out, but I don't want to drown during that same event. That would be horrible. Also,
Yeah,
being
drowning-
stung by
yeah, no.
about a dozen wasps who came out of the sunflowers next to the pool. That would be my nightmare scenario.
And then finished off by the murder.
Any
hornets.
fucking flying thing that stings me, I'm afraid of.
Yeah, any flying
Right,
instrument
yeah,
of
don't
death, I'm
like.
kind of opposed to.
So that's a no. That's a hard
That's a no
pass.
for me, dog.
We went really long, like twice as long as I wanted to.
Yeah, we did.
So I will just say this. I
Maybe we
wish
should
we
make
could
this
if
a
there was a
two-part
natural break
episode.
in there somewhere, but I don't think there was. So we could make a natural break. We could record 2 breaks right now. Or we'll just do the ending and I'll just cut it and make it. I don't know how to do that. Anyways.
I don't know. Whatever's easiest for you, Mike.
All right.
I'm
I've got
on
no
board with.
woodworking stuff because I handed out some flags and delivered some stuff. But I did want to mention that I want to go to Workbench Con. It's on my birthday.
I do too.
It starts on my birthday, and I'm scheduled to work that weekend.
What?
I'm off the 24th, and I'm supposed to be on 25, 26, 27. But, or whatever it is. I think it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Either way, I'd have to try and take 3 days off. I think I'm going to do it. So,
Yeah. Oh, good for you. I can't swing it this year.
yeah.
I think I mentioned it in our group, but I think next year.
Oh, I'm definitely going next year
think we
because I
should-
won't be working weekends. So,
Yeah. So next year I'm
All right.
planning to go to Workbench Con. I'm going to make sure of the dates, try to get that time off, and then I think we should
oh, fuck
absolutely
yeah.
100%
And I got
go.
we got a bunch of friends that live down in Atlanta too. Plus Joey. I can go see Joey. We got Joey.
We do. We got Joey. We could do a show from
That's right.
Workbench Con
So
with Joey.
I'm kind of excited if I can swing the days off thing because it's open. We have full manpower on those 3 days. So I just have to come up with the time off, like, personal days.
It looks like you're going to be a little foolish.
Yeah. And then I can't post
You look
Then I
like you
can't
might be
post
sick
anything
around then, Mike.
on Instagram.
I'm not a
But
doctor,
you don't look good.
but
Like,
I did stay in a
Yeah.
Holiday Inn Express at one point in time, and
it's
got a
possible.
feeling you're going to be sick.
Most likely not, though. So when I get back on the street, hopefully in a week or so, I'll start setting up those days off. So
Yeah, hopefully we'll start having some better stories for you.
Yeah,
guys.
hopefully.
I'll at least have some
that'll be
entertaining
awesome.
stuff with recruits.
I can't wait.
Eventually.
Did you have anything to add for the woodworking stuff?
No, actually, shout out to Tyler Westfall
Yeah.
of Westfall Woodco. I bought a couple of his templates
Template
on
Tuesday.
Template Tuesday. So I've got a charcuterie board template and then a 3-pack
Very nice.
of coaster templates. So those will get batched out eventually. I've decided that next week I can't on Saturday, but Thursday and Friday I'm going to just go balls to the wall in the garage and push this little finger as far as it'll
Don't
go.
get in trouble.
No.
Oh, that's good.
So, because I need to get back out there. That's for me stuff. I've got a couple orders that I need to get done. One of them is just a laser job that in all honesty, I've just been lazy about.
Well, I'm hoping to.
It's all designed. I just have to go get the freaking piece of wood, cut it to size.
That's not very
Go.
hard. Get on that shit. All right.
I know. I try not to run like my saws and stuff at night when the neighborhood is trying to sleep.
Screw that.
I'm not a dick.
Screw them.
I mean, I'm a dick, but
yeah.
like not to my neighbors.
All right. Well, I have a woodworking shout out, and Ty is involved in that as well. I'm shouting out their podcast, the Maker Made
I was gonna
podcast.
mention that. Yeah, with
Brian
friend of the
Luke
show.
from Dogwood Customs.
Brian Luke.
So I listened to the intro, which was 1 minute long, I think, and then I listened to the first episode, which was like 18 times shorter than this episode.
15 minutes long.
So giving them a shout out. Check them out. Maker Made
Go long
podcast
form.
on Instagram. I think they're going to,
It's on all
Spotify
the major podcast
and
platforms,
all that stuff.
Apple, all that stuff. So go listen to them after you're done listening to us.
All right.
Write reviews on ours. It helps.
Please.
It helps us within the algorithm. If you're on YouTube, give the little thumbs up thing. It doesn't cost you a dime. It's not going to screw with your algorithm. You're still going to see your woodworking stuff. But it really helps us out.
And
if you
don't
give us a thumbs up. If you can subscribe.
Yeah.
would be
Like,
awesome.
subscribe, ring the bell.
And then ring the bell. And then you'll know. You'll be the first of your friends to know what stupid shit we talk about.
If you have any questions, you can send them where, Brandon?
Well, you can email the show at handcuffs&sawdustpodcast@gmail.com. You can send the show a direct message, a DM, if you will, on Instagram at handcuffs&sawdustpodcast. Or you can DM Mike over at Marrazzo Woodworking. No longer
hard to say.
MM Midnight Maker. Marrazzo Woodwork. It's a fucking tongue twister. God damn it. Or you can DM me at Full House Woodworking. Also, both of us are on Etsy. At Marrazzo Woodworking.
I did everything.
Right, you changed
YouTube,
Etsy?
Etsy.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
Instagram.
So go check out Mike's Etsy shop. Go check out my Etsy shop. And remember, if you use promo code
Marrazzo
what's the
58.
promo code again? Marrazzo 58. Promo code gets you 20% off. If you go to mine, Full House Woodworking on Etsy, favorite something. I got a little gift coming your way. Little surprise. And then if you buy something, you can also get a surprise.
Two surprises.
You get a twofer. You can get 2 surprises. 2 surprises. That's awesome. Go check it out. Be my first.
I dare
sale.
you.
See what happens. It could change.
New
my
episodes of the Handcuffs and Sawdust podcast every Wednesday at midnight. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking. Brandon, thanks for hanging out. It's fucking late. I'm tired. Stay safe on the streets and in the shop. Go Bears and Cowboys. This guy.
Deuces.